No, well, right, and like I said, maybe I'm thinking shallow-minded, but I know our Space Force, whatever, it wouldn't justify us going to another solar system just to watch the solar system with an avatar and not, really get into the other civilizations or cultures. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah, I just really got to watch it on some of the guests. I sat there for the hour and a half, and I really couldn't even. Did you even digest what he was even saying?
Gary. Well, yeah, but it kind of reminded me of. I don't know. I asked a lot of questions. I don't think I got many answers for him, but I got a lot of long answer, but it wasn't the answer.
Well, he gave you answers, but not to your question.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, right. Oh, and it kind of reminded me because we somehow got into the transporters and that whole thing, and I'm still thinking about that with the mites and the flies, and I'm still trying to process that one.
Well, it comes to the point now. After we talked about that, being an avid, Star Trek fan. And watching all the old reruns, watching all the Next Generation and all the different things that spin off of Star Trek. Yeah, I tell you what, I can't believe somebody didn't come out as a big giant dust mite or who knows what, whatever. Because, let's face it, they never showed anybody getting scanned or anything to kill any of these, bugs, bacteria, even bacteria. Can you imagine if you had a yeast infection and you get on one of these things, right? And you're transported down to a planet and you're transported back, you could turn back as a loaf of bread.
Oh my! Well, I'll tell you what. There's some really potent yeast infections out there. They got their own teeth. I mean, you gotta watch out, boy.
Yeah,
yeah.
And this was, I don't know if it'd be French bread or Italian bread, but you'd have to. They don't. None of this. I think none of the writers ever thought about that.
No, because they didn't. They didn't delouse anybody, so they can put in a hermetically sealed transporter. They just kind of jumped up there and kind of chanced it.
Well, how about Kurt? He was sitting on some planet, right? Doing whatever they were doing. He takes his tricorder out and he's doing his thing. He picks up his little phone, right, and says, "Okay, beam me up, Scotty." And I Captain. And who knows what he could have brought with him.
It's so true. And another thing, say you're getting on the transporter to go do your thing down on this planet below, and maybe you hug your girlfriend or your wife, and now you got a little bit of her hair on you, or you give your dog a hug, and so it gets messed up. And these are mechanical things that are about to malfunction. So even if they're perfectly going to malfunction somewhere. So what, you're going to come back, all messed up with, well, like you said, breast or different hair, or start barking or something? I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what, Dreamland on chat, I don't think signing a waiver would do any good because, you're on some alien planet. Who knows what bacteria is on you? Okay, and you're walking around, right, and you're touching stuff, and, then you just say, beam me back, and they beam you back, and then you walk on, like nothing happened. You're walking around the Enterprise. Who knows? Yeah, who knows what you come on. They could have actually made a good show of that.
Oh, they could have, because that it's unlimited what you could have come up with insects or bugs that was on somebody they didn't know when you transport them back in, and next thing you know, you've got little claws out your nose, or you got weird eyes or something. You never know what you pick up from these planets.
Well, you remember The Fly, not Vincent Price, but the second one that was done with the guy from Jurassic Park. He goes into this transporter that he built, right? And he did it a couple of times, no problem. But one time a fly is in there at the same time he does. He transports himself to the other pod. He's okay that day. The next day, his back gets itchy. Well, you know what's going? He's growing a set of wings. And then after the wings start, well, everything else starts over, progresses, like he can't be in the daylight. He starts turning and looking more like a fly every day.
He starts getting attracted to rotten meat, and he gets angry around fly strips and all these things. And his woman's like, "What's going on with you? You're changing on me."
I still like the original Vincent Price one at the very end of the movie. Okay, Vincent Price now is turned into a little fly. Because it actually took him and put him in the fly body, and the fly was him. Can you imagine?
Right, the fly was.
Yeah, his brains were in I don't know how you could put his brains in a little, but it was cool. The little fly was on the spider web, and the spider's getting ready to eat this little fly, which is actually now Vincent Price, and he's going, "Help me, help me, he's gonna eat me, help me." You remember that? I do.
Yeah. That would be horrific to get turned into a fly and then you're caught in a spider web, because the thing is, you would now be on their level. So that spider would be giant with these giant fangs coming at you to suck you dry. Oh, my God, it'd be awful.
So I wonder if these aliens are put in some type of hibernation state while they're traveling, even if it's for a short period of time. Because you would think about if they're on a UFO and they're coming from another galaxy, solar system, even if they're going through a portal or a black hole or anything like that, are they being, in a chamber where they're, all their bodily functions are almost stopped for they don't age while this is going on? We haven't talked about any of that. None of the guests have ever.
And again, these are good theories. How they get here? Do they use them portals, wormholes? And even if they
Uber.
are using
they
them,
use Uber.
using Uber, okay. They're using planetary Uber. So even at that, boy, could you imagine the frequent flyer miles you'd be racking up with that stuff? Boy, oh boy. But yeah, the things is limitless of what they must have to go through, the knowledge and the advancement way above us to even do that stuff. But yeah, do they put themselves in like a hibernation, or do they have avatars or little robots that do their work, and then when they get here they wake up? I don't know.
I don't buy the little avatar thing. I don't. But could you imagine though? I mean, some of these people, like that astronaut, from Great Britain.
Yeah.
Like aliens are walking among us. She's not the only one that's been saying that. They could be. Maybe they're in a different dimension. We don't see them. And they're walking right through us. Walking right through your living room right now, going through your studio, and you don't even see them.
That's very true, and they're watching you doing your personal stuff too, and probably taking notes and stuff. But yeah, it's very possible, because these interdimensions supposedly they can overlap, and we can't see them, but maybe they can see us. Obviously, if they can come here at will, they can obviously see us at will when they want to.
Or we have been affected so much on our planet that 70% of people are not people, they're aliens.
Oh, right. And who knows how long. Listen, the aliens are supposed to be coming here for millennia, so who knows how long they've been interbreeding or hibernizing with us. So who knows how much some of these humans out here might be more alien than human.
Yeah, could be. Watch when you that's something you got to do. If you get in a relationship, just don't check for, other things. Check and see if they're actually human. Have their DNA done.
Right. And here's the other thing you got to think about. Maybe these DNA places, the heads of them might be aliens. So you're never going to get the information back legitly.
Well, not just that. You're sending your DNA to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, what better place to, get DNA? They could be getting DNA. They got like DNA from, 5 million people so far, which represents a huge population of the earth. When you figure that's 5 million people, and then you divide it by, family tree and all that stuff, they could actually, that could be scary.
Yeah, it could be scary. That's more than scary because, and I even did a little news report on that a couple of weeks ago about these places with the DNA. Be careful because they could, once they have that, they could, if somebody really was against you, they could plant your DNA. They can make you look like a serial killer, and you don't even have to leave your house for 2 years, and you've done it.
Oh yeah, and not just that, but the other thing is, I've known people that sent out to a couple of these places and got all different results.
Oh, exactly. And that's another thing with these results. So how accurate could they be? I don't know. I think the whole thing's scary. I would never send my DNA anywhere just for the fact that, boy, they have the power to railroad you for crimes or whatever they want to do, or Lord knows what they could do with DNA. That's just something I wouldn't want to give up.
Yeah, well, nowadays with DNA, I think we gave up pretty much of all our rights. Seriously, when you think about it, let's say your long-lost cousin robbed a 7-Eleven and his DNA was, on file. So you send in to get your DNA checked. Besides finding out who your long cousin is, now you just probably put your long cousin in prison.
Well, how about this one? What if you were born and you were born with an identical twin, but you were given up for adoption, and you didn't even know you had a twin, but your twin was evil and did all these evil things. You send your DNA in, and now you're linked to a serial killer that's you because you got an identical twin. You don't even know it. How about that?
Now, again, with DNA, also, if you think about it, they say that the odds are like 1 in a million. Well, how many people are walking this earth?
Yeah, just the United States alone is over 300 million, and 7 billion, and over 7 billion on the earth.
I don't know. It's scary. There's some states that want to, even before you get charged with a crime and go to court and found guilty, they want to be able to collect your DNA and put it in the data bank.
Yeah, actually, that's against your constitutional right, but anymore, I think they want to throw that out the door too.
Well, I don't know. The way the Constitution is going lately, who knows?
Exactly, and that's scary. You should have the right to say yes or no on your DNA unless you're really, they got a lot of evidence against you and you're linked up, But even still, I don't know. I know that I'm not voluntarily giving my DNA up for nothing.
Well, yeah, and then you give your DNA out, and then you find out you got cancer, or you're going to be getting cancer because all your the makeup of your DNA. I mean, it's given out all, and then nobody wants to insure you because, now you're a risk. Think about that one.
Right, and here's something ironic. One of the head DNA guys, he did a whole thing about how they could find out with DNA who's with these serial killers, and it matched them, and who could be a serial killer with this DNA. The ironic part was the guy that headed that up, he matched that. He didn't even know it. And that kind of gave him a different light about these kind of things once he realized that he matched up to be one of these people. And what happens? We become a government that says, you know what, your DNA says you're going to be a serial killer in the future.
So we're going to lock you up.
Yeah, we're going to lock you up now.
Yeah, why not? Anyway, we're going to be back in about 8 minutes, top of the hour. James is going to be giving us the news, and then our guest will be on. So stay tuned to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.
Starlit crown arches over the Puget Sound. Berenice's hair drapes the horizon. There is my lucky star to sister of the Pleiades.